In a world where losing in your fantasy football league isn't an option, we present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
Go, bro.
Hey YouTubers, if you like what you see, make sure you click subscribe below. Today we're going to do our Week 9 Thursday Triple Threat, and you can't wait to see what I have to drink tonight for my punishment. A little bit.
You can't wait either, huh?
Can't wait.
He's like, wait a minute, I can't wait.
What do you think?
Losing in your fantasy football league isn't an option.
One's not that bad.
We present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
Everyone's seen it.
I don't want to throw up. I mean, if I gag or something, like that's one thing. Like if I dry heave, maybe, but I'm not looking to throw up. I do have a trash can here just in case.
Third round and fifth round. Third and fifth.
That sounds very creepy, but I like it. Three is funny, chewy, and slimy. Punishment is certain, 100%.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. It is Thursday, Triple Threat Thursday? Triple Threat Bet. I don't even know what we call it anymore. I haven't been here in like over a month.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate it. Finally somebody says welcome back.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed since I've been here last. My name is Travis Sutton. I'm here with the boys James Up and Jay Up.
What's up, guys? Whoop whoop.
All right, there they are. So, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I know we have a wheel that we spin.
So here's the thing. Same format as we've been doing before. We're going to review last Thursday's game. It was between the Dolphins and the Texans.
So there's no song today.
No song today.
That's why I came back.
I know, and you know what? I think after I sang 5 songs in a row from going 0-5, I was getting stressed out trying to find a song. Like, it wasn't so much writing the lyrics. It was I spent 6-7 hours just trying to find a stupid song to sing.
6 or 7 hours?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Took over your life.
Over the course of 2 days, it was like a couple hours, and then I would like start to write some stuff, and I was like, this sucks. I'm not doing this song. So then I go scrap it and go find another song. And so then James came up with the wheel of
just
punishment.
because of that, your brother saved you, went out and bought a wheel, thought of a bunch of punishments to try to help you out. So, there you go. There's the wheel. Everyone that's looking on YouTube. But yeah, so no, we just tried to change it up a little bit. It's still on there. I'm sure I'll lose the week that it is. It would be more fitting if we spin it and it lands on the song and you lose again. That'd be even better. But at least it's not every single week, right?
That's okay because I've actually now started to write down songs when I hear them on the radio in the car. I'll write them down now so that I can have them, off the side just in case.
Which is what Travis and me thought you were doing before the season.
And I said I wasn't.
He was, but he ran out real quick.
He's like, I'll probably lose 2 or 3 times, and then it was like 4 or 5, and he was like, oh no, panic has set in. So yeah, we had the Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans. What stood out in this game? To me, it was a couple of things, but mainly Deshaun Watson throwing the ball 20 times, and 5 of those times were touchdowns.
The whole Texans offense, to me, stood out. Like, Lamar Miller had a great game.
Yeah.
Even Alfred Blue with the carries he did some stuff with it. Fuller had a great game before he got injured. Hopkins had 2 touchdowns. Jordan Thomas had 2 touchdowns. So, there's a lot of things that stood out, but it was the whole Texans offense to me.
Is Jordan Thomas the tight end to own there?
No, he had 4 targets.
I know, but
2 of which went for touchdowns. I think it was just opportunity fell his way.
The weirdest thing is that, if you look at the receiving, core, he only threw the ball 20 times. So Hopkins had 7, Fuller had 6. The whole entire rest of the team was Miller with 2, Tyler Ervin, the backup running back, had 1, and the tight end had 4. They didn't throw the ball. They didn't have to throw the ball. They ran the ball 35 times. So writing's on the wall. You can definitely run against Miami, and apparently you can definitely pass against Miami. But 5 touchdowns for Deshaun Watson, no interceptions. A little glimpse of what he was last season before he got that injury that took him out for the rest of the year.
I think they were uber efficient.
Yes, very, very. And now they just added Demaryius Thomas, correct?
They did.
So they get Demaryius Thomas now to take that Will Fuller role. How do you think this affects Demaryius Thomas? Do we think that it's going to stay about the same, where he's averaging 10 to 14 points a game, or do you think this is going to be an uptick for him?
This is definitely an upgraded quarterback. He goes from Case Keenum to Deshaun Watson, and I think it's a better offense all around, really, because Emmanuel Sanders is not. I mean, even though he's a good receiver, he's not DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's an upgrade all the way around for Demaryius. I think that once he gets acclimated with the playbook, he should fit right in there.
What do you think? Up or down? Or the same?
Relatively the same. Maybe a slight uptick. I think Deshaun Watson has his ups and downs as well. I mean, he hasn't been what we saw last year, but he has his moments. So, yeah, he could be very beneficial for Demaryius Thomas, but I think also it could be a little bit of a struggle. It just depends on how they choose to use Thomas. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, because Will Fuller is that guy that's going to take the top off the defense and kind of go deep and get that long bomb. He had a 73-yard catch this game as well. Demaryius Thomas is not that. He's not burning anyone. So essentially, it kind of changes the dynamic of the offense of like you don't have that burner that you can just send deep and kind of clear the way for Hopkins underneath or across the middle. Now you have Demaryius Thomas who can't do that. So now you have two guys that kind of do the same thing.
Well,
Who's the third option there?
Well, is Hopkins going to start getting those big?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
He's faster than Demaryius, yeah.
Right. Oh, for sure. So now they start throwing deep to Hopkins, which leaves Demaryius open in the middle, and they kind of change roles there. I don't know, but who's the third option here? I don't even see a receiver that got another target outside of Fuller and Hopkins.
Well, Kiki Cutie didn't play in the game.
That's okay. Is he playing next game though?
They haven't said yet. So he was out with a hamstring injury. In my opinion, with hamstring injuries, we've talked about this before.
Tell me they linger, Jay. Tell me.
You have to wait until it's all the way gone. You can't bring these guys back early because they just get re-injured again.
Tell me they linger.
Soft tissue issues. They linger.
So they linger. Does anybody believe Devontae Parker moving forward for the rest of the season? Was this a showcase to try to trade him, and now the trade deadline is here, and it's going to be done here in the next 20 minutes? If he stays on this team, does Devontae Parker take a step forward, or we've seen Devontae Parker's best days? This just happened to be a really good game for him. What is it?
I think he's just showing what he can do. I think that Miami doesn't trade him. They're in pretty dire straits right now at the wide receiver spot. If they trade him, they're looking at Danny Amendola and Jakeem Grant. Whether they're trying to win or not, you can't go forward with that kind of receiving
I
core.
like that.
You have to keep Parker.
Mike Gesicki, I like that.
Dallas can kind of go forward with no receivers, but
What?
Yeah, but they have Zeke Elliott.
I'm sorry, I
That's
take a jab,
true.
bro.
That's
I take
true.
a jab. Well, they got Gore and Drake, bro. They can handle the business.
Yeah.
Again, 50-50 split.
I think
from those two
Parker
guys.
is. It wasn't as good as what we saw because of that fluky play where Homie coughed up the ball and Parker was just benefited from
He
it
got
right
annihilated.
at the right time.
Grant got
Grant got
annihilated.
blasted.
Yeah. And so the 40-yard catch that he would have had all went to Devontae Parker, who happened to catch the deflection off the guy's face mask. Like, that was a fluky play, like we said on the previous episode. That was a 46-yard play for Devontae Parker. If you did take that away, he only had his 4 catches for about 88 yards
He
roughly.
had 5 catches for about 90 yards, which is still a good production out of
Yeah,
him because
but
they've been
it's-
making him a healthy and active.
And he had 9 targets. Led the team in targets, and that's like his best game that he's had in how long? I mean, for sure this season, but
Well, a long time, but
Yeah. Osweiler.
he's always had that untapped potential that everybody's been waiting for.
It's his
and-
first game with Osweiler. That for me is a little
And
bit of a
Osweiler's
difference.
probably not going to be there for much longer. Tannehill's going to be back in a week or two. So,
So you think he gets a job right back up when he's healthy for
Tannehill?
Tannehill?
is Osweiler Fitzmagic to you?
No, I'm just
Oh, okay.
asking.
I was just.
Do you think as soon as Tannehill's ready,
Yeah,
he takes it right back?
I do.
Jay, you do as
Yeah,
well?
I think so too.
I'm going to say no. And
Uh,
I marked on my shirt when I did that, okay?
Rock magic.
I just can't figure out why Adam Gase just refuses to use Kenyon Drake like he should be used. I mean, I'm not saying you give him every single carry, but like this whole 50-50 split with Gore, like he's a much more explosive back than Gore. And
The
you look at
problem
their,
is that Gore is reliable. Gore is reliable, and Drake isn't. When Drake fumbles on the 1-yard line, that's going to resonate with you. And so you have a sure-handed guy. If it ever comes where Miami's winning in the fourth quarter, the ball's going to go to Gore, in my opinion. Because you can rely on him to get that 3 or 4 yards. You give him the ball. He's not going to fumble. He's not going to miss a block. He's not going to miss a catch. He's that guy that you can rely on. Whereas Drake is huge upside for sure. But can you really rely on him when you need him? Look, I need a first down here. I need a touchdown here. You're going to go to Gore. And that's where the 50-50 split comes into for me.
How many catches did Drake have? 2?
2
for
2 on 2 targets.
Okay, so.
and one of them was that trick play. Amendola threw in the touchdown, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The 28-yard touchdown.
As
on
far
that
as
trick
more
play.
explosive, they both had 12 carries for 50-some yards.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I mean, I do like Drake as well. I think he is athletically at this point in his career because he's younger, more agile, and all that good stuff. Yes, but you can't just not use Gore. Like he said, he's very consistent. You can depend on him. I think he's just stuck in that role right now.
Right. It just sucks for Drake owners. Like I don't own Drake in any league, but to me it was suck for Drake owners because you probably draft him in like the 4th or 5th round or so, thinking he was going to be a high-end RB2, and he's stuck in a full-blown like 50-50 split with
But
Frank Gore.
there was like 2 weeks there, or 3, I think, a 3-week span where he was getting literally four carries, 5 carries, 3 carries. Now he's back to at least getting a touchdown. He had two in this game, but at least he's getting the touchdowns and he's getting multiple double-digit carry games. Like last week he rushed for over double digits, and this week he had 12 carries. So even if he has a 50-50 split, as long as my guy's getting 12 or 13 touches, I don't mind him being in a 50-50 split. It's when he's getting 3 or he's getting 4 touches where he's just completely irrelevant. Give him 10 touches and see what he can do with it. He averaged, he said, like Travis said, 58 yards and he had a touchdown. He also had 2 catches and one of them was a touchdown. So he bailed you out in the touchdown game like he always is going to do. He's very touchdown dependent at this moment, but as long as he gets double-digit carries, you kind of have to start him in your flex and just hope for the best that he's not going to get pulled to goal line.
Are we still waiting for the Amendola breakout?
Amendola will have a game over 100 yards this year. Do you want to make a wall bet on that?
No, I think he will too.
Exactly.
I'll take that bet.
So he hasn't had. You think
I'm just
he'll
waiting.
Never
for
have
it.
a game over 100 yards ever?
This year.
I tried to get his whole career there. I didn't know if you were listening or not. Amendola over 100 yards. Okay, put it on the wall. Cheers.
This week, right?
Who are they playing this week?
I don't know.
They're probably on a bye week.
You know what? I think they might be on a bye.
No, they're not. They play the Jets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, all right.
No, not this week. Travis, no.
Oh, because they're gonna have Buster Screen lined up against them.
I don't know who they're going to have against them. All I know is the Jets' defense secondary is not horrible, so I'll wait for them to play a team that's just not. Hopefully, they play Tampa Bay or somebody that's horrible.
Well, if we're lucky, we'll hear the Danny Amendola drop.
Which one? There's Amendola's back, and then there's
one.
and then there's one in the preseason where he already had his breakout game. It was in the preseason. There's 2 of them.
There is 2 of them, yeah.
So we can go either way on that for next week. We can go the worst or they can go the best way. So we'll see what happens next week.
So you're saying Jay was riding the fence on that one?
Oh yeah, it just depends on what time you ask him.
No. When I said Amendola's back, I was making fun of all the people saying that
Amendola's
Oh, I
back.
know, but it turned out 2 drops.
Wasn't that last year? That was last year. The Amendola's back. That was last year with Patriots for sure. 100%.
I don't know if it was last year or not.
1,000%. I'll check the date on the computer.
I trust you.
Thank you, sir. So for our wall bets, I had Deshaun Watson, Lamar Miller, and Amendola. Jay had Osweiler, Drake, and Hopkins. Hopkins had a great game. I didn't even do the points because Watson had 40 by himself. Miller had like 28, I think, or 27. So definitely ran away with that.
It came down to the quarterback play because Hopkins had 2 touchdowns and Drake had 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it was over once Amendola threw the 1 touchdown. I was like, well, that's
but that's how you beat me the week before with
Right.
Emmanuel Sanders that threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I knew right away. First pick of the thing was Deshaun Watson. I let you have Hopkins, and you took him, and I wanted to make sure that I got Watson over Osweiler because I was a little sketchy about that. So happened to work out. But it's time to I think serve your punishments. Packers just traded Clinton Dix to Washington, by the way. Woo! Man,
Washington is all in.
You know what? Washington's all in.
Division leaders.
They're 5-2, right? 6-2.
6-2.
They haven't beat Atlanta yet.
5-2. Take it easy.
We only have 2 losses. How
Let's
many
not
you
give
guys
them
have?
extra credit here. They're 5-2
You guys have twice as many losses as
with
us.
the gunslinging Alex Smith.
He doesn't need to go.
I was going to say it's working. Okay, so I prepared 2 shots for Jay. It had to be liquid, spoonful of sugar. It was a punishment. He's got the trash can ready. He's got the blindfold ready. On YouTube, if you want to check it out, go to Triple Coverage Podcast. Look for the Dynasty episode. You ready for the wheel punishment?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So which one should I give him first?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Your call.
The swallow.
All right. So first one, I'm gonna take the aluminum foil off the top here. So it's just a regular shot glass. It's about 1.5 spoons full of liquid. I would recommend not smelling it, but that's up to you.
Nice and easy. There it is.
We're gonna not smelling it.
I would recommend not smelling it, but that's up to you.
You might want to plug your nose.
I won't smell it then.
I can smell it already because it leaked on my hand a little bit.
I can
It
smell
smells
it too,
disgusting.
right in front of my face.
All right.
right in front.
I can smell it right now.
You said earlier that this is not that bad, so that's why I'm giving it to you to see what your reaction is. You're like, oh, that's not that bad.
It's gonna be like.
Oh, is it apple cider vinegar?
It might be.
Can you smell it?
I can smell vinegar. If it's apple cider vinegar, that's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't taste yummy, but it's not that bad. I've had shots of this before.
Every
is that
Saturday
what it
night.
is?
Like for fun?
Cheers.
You'll
yeah,
see
for the morning.
You'll see when you drink
It
it.
helps when you get a cold.
Well, bottoms up then. Ew.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. I've had it before.
Oh God, that's so gross.
When you're getting a cold,
Oh God.
if you have a shot of apple cider vinegar, it's supposed to help get rid of the cold faster.
Oh man. All right.
Is it
hang on.
Mother's brand?
I don't think it had the mother in it. I think he.
I don't even know what that is.
When generic, wow.
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
You know.
When generic on it, wow.
All right. So this one, it's a double shot double shot glass, but it's only filled up not even one way. It just happened to be the shot glass that I grabbed. So it's not a full double shot. So punishment.
Jesus, yeah.
Punishment number 2. I don't know if smelling it's gonna make a difference. You're gonna have to shoot this back, almost like a shot of alcohol, and let it sit there for a sec.
I have to let it sit there for a second?
Well, I mean,
Well, you don't have to. I
I'm
mean,
just trying to let you know you have to shoot it back pretty good.
Because it's so deep?
Yeah. All right, ready? Yeah.
Yep.
See, smelling is not gonna make a difference. Keep going. There.
Oh God!
So gross. So gross. That was so
You didn't
gross.
say there's going to be anything in it. It's supposed to be liquid.
It is liquid.
It is.
It was liquid. Oh, what do you think you just drank right
I
there?
don't know.
How'd it taste?
Down the hatch right
Oh,
away.
God.
Taste okay?
It was
No,
okay, right?
It tasted like, it tasted minty, first of all.
Well, there's no mint in there at
Whatever
all.
it was, it tasted minty.
It was Bailey's. It was Bailey's with vodka, and then you put lime juice in it, and it curdles up. Remember when Travis was talking about it? So the bottom of it was the milk that was curdled up, but not because it's bad.
Wait, Bailey. Say it again. Bailey's and what?
Bailey's and vodka, and then you put lime juice in it, and the milk that's in like the Bailey's
The cream,
kind of the cream kind of curls up, and that was the consistency that you were tasting of the slimy like curdleness.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it
part
tasted-
that like smacked you in the face. When you turned it up and it was like, what?
Oh, as soon as it hit my tooth, I just swallowed.
That's what she said.
Man, it's called a cement mixer.
Cement mixer. That's
Oh,
what
there's
it's
an
called.
actual shot name for that. I've
Yeah.
heard of cement mixer. I had no idea what
So
it
it's
was.
basically alcohol, but the lime. As soon as you put the lime in and you mix it into the other shot glass, it immediately curdled at the bottom, and I was like, oh my God, this looks so gross. So if you were looking at it, I think it would be worse than if you didn't have the
Yeah,
blindfold
yeah,
on,
yeah.
because it was all sitting on the bottom, just curled up.
You couldn't even taste the lime in it. It tasted like mint. I
Yeah.
don't know why it tastes like mint.
It was pumpkin spice Bailey's for you. You're welcome. Trying to
Maybe
make it a
that's
little bit better.
There you go.
You can take
So,
your blindfold
full
off.
punishment, sir.
Yeah,
Nice.
punishment, sir. Good job.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see what it looked like because I think it would have been worse to see what it looked like.
Yeah, it did.
Rather
it did,
than it.
yeah,
I
definitely
made that
looked
mistake,
worse.
damn it. I should have said, okay, you can take the blindfold off of this, and you would have looked at it and been like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, it was a pretty big clump. It was like almost like a hairball or
No.
like a lint ball is what it kind of.
It was like this much, like about half the shot was curdle, and the rest was just sitting on top, and all the excess I put in my drink, so it was just the curdle part. That's why. Nasty.
Oh, that's why there was no excess.
No, there was no. I'm trying to make it the worst as possible on you. You know what we didn't do is we didn't pick any guys before this episode.
We didn't pick any guys.
Yeah.
We'll
for the
do
next-
it live.
Punishment was served.
We'll do it live.
We'll
Travis,
do it live, damn it.
Travis, you in?
For what?
If you're in for the triple threat bet, then we would take quarterbacks out to make it even sketchier.
Like I can't commit
Let's
to
just do.
being
Ready, Jay?
available next week.
Ready? You're not gonna lose anyway.
You're not going to lose, yeah.
Everyone that's picked has gotten it.
Be in for old time's sake.
Who has number 1?
God dang it. Jay does.
This guy.
All right, so Jay drew the number 1 pick.
I don't even know who the good number 1 pick is. Like, who is the good number 1 pick out of this mess? Like, it's
Well, I'm not
obviously-
gonna say it because I don't have the number 1 pick.
So it's Oakland. It's
Oakland at San Francisco.
Correct.
Nice try.
Oakland at San Fran. You have a 1-6 versus 1-7. Somebody has to win this game, right? Or actually, I couldn't in a tie. We've seen a couple of ties this
Very
year.
True.
I think
Anybody think this ends in a tie?
I think San Fran is trying not to tank, and Oakland doesn't really care.
I got a question real quick. Have you guys worked out what happens if there's a tie in the triple threat bet?
No, because we have decimal points, so I'm assuming it's not. But if it is a
Assuming-
tie, we both have to do the punishment.
Okay, I like it.
Right, Jay?
Sure, I'm
He's
down
still
for that.
burping over there. You good?
I'm down for that.
It's apple cider vinegar and that.
The apple cider vinegar. I was surprised that you took it down so easily. Just
That's 'cause
putting
I-
it in the shot glass was gross.
That
I've
was-
had shots of that
What
before.
was the
Like,
second shot today?
I've had
You
shots
did
of
a
that.
shot of that
outside
this
of
morning just to get
no,
ready?
no, but I've had shots of that before because, like, if you're starting, like I say, if you're starting to get a cold or whatever, you take a shot of that. It's supposed to speed up the process.
Of the To trade the Cole faster?
Getting rid of Cole.
I want this Cole right now. All right, so who's your pick?
Full blown. Let's do it.
So we're doing 2 of us, right?
Yeah.
Give me the sniffles.
Give me Kittle.
Kittle for your first pick.
That's your boy.
Tight end. So Kittle for Jay. I'm gonna go. I'll go Jared Cook. I'll let you choose the quarterback.
I'll take Derek Carr.
We got about 4 minutes to go on the trade deadline.
Derek Carr. That means I'm gonna get Beathard anyway, so I will take Goodwin. Is he playing?
Yeah, he's not on the injury report.
Okay, I'll take Goodwin. That gives me Beathard, and then your last pick, Jay.
Has to be a Raider, so let's go Jalen Richard.
Really? Wow, this is a crack squad.
PPR league.
All right, so Jay's got Derek Carr, Jalen Richard, and George Kittle. James has Jared Cook, Marquise Goodwin, and CJ Beathard. Damn, this is going to be one for the ages, guys.
This might be like a 15 to 14.
Do you want to throw that wheel up and spin that for us?
Can I spin it?
Let's let Travis. Let's let Travis spin it here.
That.
You're going to have to stand up and spin it.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, baby. Oh, here, I'll hold the base. You can spin it.
Hold the base, Jay. That's what you're good at.
All right, what we got?
Jay, tell us.
Karaoke.
Woo! See, who would have guessed?
He wanted the song, and he got the song.
All right, so karaoke. We're gonna have to pick a song and change the words like we used to do, just like old time's sake.
I might try to be here next week.
There you go.
He wanted the song, and he got it. He's like, oh, I'm kind of just disappointed. There's no song. Now there's gonna be.
And you just said how many times or how many songs you put aside for your. So you should have a couple in the chamber.
3. We got 3.
Do you really?
Down, yeah.
Any particular artists?
No. They were like I was listening on the radio and I was like, you know what, this would be kind of good for one, so I would write it down so I wouldn't forget. Because that was my problem in the past is I would hear a good song and then totally forget about it when it came time to do it.
Yeah,
punishment.
Yeah.
Classic rock station? What are you listening to?
Everything.
You just went deep, huh?
Top 40?
I listened to 100.5, so I listened to old school rap. I listened to old school rap,
ESPN,
and then and then like 94.1, like just whatever's popular right now.
So what do we think's gonna happen in this game? Who wins? What do you guys like betting wise?
I can tell you what I'm not gonna take, and that's the under. Like I refuse to take under on a Thursday night until it actually goes under.
What's the line?
It was
41.
No. It opened at 47.5.
Yeah.
It was down to 46.5.
Yikes!
Last I saw.
Yeah, 46.5.
San Fran favored by 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
-4.
I don't know.
-3.
I don't know. So people are betting Oakland and under?
All right, you guys think about it. Oakland and San Fran coming into this game. Oakland is 1-6. They're 0-3 at home.
Jesus. This is a team that we're getting.
2-7 against the spread.
This is the team we're getting in Vegas, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Well, no, this isn't the team we're getting in Vegas. By the
hopefully
time we get one, it's going to be a juggernaut.
Yeah, I have full confidence in Gruden.
For sure.
Hey, trust the process, bro, right? Get rid of everybody. Don't have to pay anybody. Start drafting.
Look smart eventually.
Everybody will be young. Hopefully, Carl will come around.
He's got 10 years.
Stay positive. San Fran's 1-7 coming in. They're 1-2 at home. 2-8 against the spread. So neither one of these teams are good at covering the spread so far this year. Both are top 5 in points against, so they like to be scored on. So I don't know about that under. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why people are betting under then.
Not me. Not this guy.
49ers. They got 2 winnable games on their schedule right now, and it's this game and the next game, which for some reason I didn't write down. Oh, it's the Giants. So they're at home for this game and the Giants next week. So there's 2 kind of winnable games for them.
That's not what they want. That's not what they want. I'm telling you, they don't want to win these games.
I think they might want to rise to the occasion for these 2 games.
That's not true.
Oakland, next week, they play the Chargers. So they got a divisional game coming up. So they might be looking ahead a little bit, possibly.
I agree.
They got a top 5 rushing defense, I think. The Raiders, is that right? Am I saying that right?
Definitely top 10.
Okay, so, but they're last in getting some pressure. They're last in sacks. They only have 7 sacks on the season.
They're giving up 144 yards on the ground.
Wait, you talking about the Raiders or Niners?
Raiders.
The Raiders have a bottom 5.
Yep.
They're giving up 145 yards a game on the ground.
That's what I meant.
So Breda and
Mostert, and we didn't pick either one of them.
I wish you would have said the stats before we picked our guys. We didn't take any running back from that team.
Now you'll know when it comes to fruition.
Damn it.
So I think this might go over.
Yeah, I think over as well. I don't know what side I like in it. I'd rather just take the over and hope for a lot of scoring. But if I had to pick a side, who wants to win this game? You think? I know you guys both think they do. I guess they both want to win. But C.J. Beathard, I guess. I'd rather have C.J. Beathard than Derek Carr.
Carr didn't look too bad this last week.
No.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and everyone thought he was going to be terrible after losing Cooper. So he's nobody to throw to now. And
he didn't really throw to.
I was just going to say, who did well?
Nobody had 3 touchdowns. He had
who?
Seth Roberts had a touchdown. Jared Cook had a touchdown.
And what, Rashard maybe?
And somebody else. I can't remember.
Nobody picked Seth Roberts?
No one picked Seth Roberts.
The guy that runs out of the slot?
No. Or Martavis Bryant. Or Jordy Nelson.
Martavis Bryant, did he even get a target last week?
Yeah, I saw a funny tweet that said he took over the Amari Cooper role perfectly. His body. Everyone's like, oh, Brian's going to take over the Cooper role now, and then last week he had 0 catches. So they're like, oh, he took it over perfectly. That's exactly what they wanted to do.
I love it. The opponent I played in my big money league had Martavis Bryant in his lineup.
Played him, huh?
Goose
yeah, 0, right? 1 target, 0. Yeah, because Lisa played him. Remember? So yeah, I'll take the over in this game. I don't really know a side. I don't really care about a side. This is the Thursday games for some reason have not been that great this year.
Last one was pretty good.
Last one was
good, yeah.
But then there was like 2 weeks in a row. Remember, Jay, that were just like okay, Miami Houston. I didn't think was going to be that great of a game.
Oh, it was the Denver Arizona game that we thought was going to be crappy, and that one went over too.
I'm not saying that the score. I'm just saying the teams that are playing on these Thursday night games are all just.
I've been pleasantly surprised by the Thursday night games.
Usually it's low scoring. This year's been a lot of high scoring games. So at least we get some scoring there. But I don't know, 1-7 versus 1-6. It's just hard to sit and watch these games unless you have fantasy relevance or you have a bet on the game. That's why I'm glad that we're in Las Vegas because we have both, you know.
Or you just like football.
Yeah, you know what? I've noticed that if I don't have any fantasy guys going or any kind of betting on it, it's very hard to watch. Sometimes.
All right.
No, I'll still watch
the ticky-tack calls and all that other BS. It's getting soft, guys. It's becoming flag football.
Stop.
This
is
flag football.
For me, these, especially being in Dynasty leagues, these are the types of games where you might see guys get into the lineup, get some playing time that you wouldn't normally see, and it gives you, not an advantage necessarily, but it gives you a chance to see some of the guys that you've been waiting to kind of see, so you can make a judgment call on whether you need to wait on a guy, sell a guy, get rid of a guy, pick up a guy, drop a guy, whatever it is. So I don't dislike bad matchups necessarily because
there's always somebody to watch.
There's always a silver lining, guys. There's always a silver lining.
And I think the guys I want to see, like, is Pierre Garçon still doubtful?
He's supposed to play this game.
He's questionable.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just say the 2 guys I want to see was either Dante Pettis or Richie James. I want to see one of those guys do something.
Yeah, Richie James flashed a little bit really early on in the season. Dante Pettis are still kind of waiting on him to do anything, but Pierre Garçon to me I thought he was going to get traded right before the deadline.
He still may.
At this point it's 1:03 p.m. So
doesn't matter because sometimes the trades were put in and they just haven't been announced yet.
Haven't been processed.
Yeah, sometimes it comes out a little bit afterwards.
Well, let's hope that they do something then.
And sometimes there's the debacle like the AJ McCarron debacle.
Correct. Didn't get it in time.
Buffalo Bills, man, they'll always get you. Anything else you guys want to add to the Raiders 49ers? Jay, you mad about anything?
Yeah, actually I am. I'm a little bit mad about the over-unders that they've been doing now. The bookies have adjusted, obviously, but everything was going over at the beginning of the season. We were out of town, so I made all my bets on Thursday because I knew we were going to be in California for the weekend.
Ouch.
So I had to bet it early because I don't have a phone account, and even if you do, you can't use it out of state anyways. So you have to get somebody to do it for you. So my problem is that I win on Thursday night, the Thursday night game. I have Houston Texans in the over. That comes in easily. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, I'm already ahead for the week. Well, I proceed to bet Green Bay and Rams, the game we were at. I bet the over, lose it by less than 3 points. The Saints game, which is on Sunday night, I have over 52.5. It lands at 50. And then last night I had lost the parlay earlier. I had the Patriots, but I lost the parlay earlier because a different game wasn't the over-under. But I ended up losing every single ticket after that Thursday night game. So I lost everything, and I'm mad about the overs.
So
I'm mad about how high they're putting these games. Just like
you're falling into it though.
But this is example here. I think this Raiders-Niners game that we're talking about, I think that if this was on a Sunday, that the over-under would be like 42.5, 43.
Right.
But because it's on a Thursday and they're getting less rest, They bump it up to 47.5, which is why it's already been bet down.
But you just said that you like the over in this game.
I'm still going to take the over. Until Thursday proves me wrong, I will not bet the under. I can't do it. I can't pull myself to bet the under.
In general, it's hard as a bettor to bet the under because of the fact that if they come out scoring right away, your ticket's dead before halftime. So I get the not wanting to bet the under, but eventually you have to look at the game, who's playing. I think both these teams can't stop the other one, so I think this is a great overplay.
That was my exact point, though, with the Saints-Vikings.
But Saints and Vikings, but they both have good defenses.
The Vikings' defense hasn't been that good this year.
But
the
it's
Saints
still,
it's still above average.
Yeah.
And Saints had the number 1 running defense in the league, so they knew they weren't going to run, so they're going to have to pass the ball. So.
But you have the best receiving tandem in the NFL, probably. Those two guys, Thielen and Diggs.
What's my bold prediction of the year, boys?
And and all of a sudden you can't throw against the Saints now?
Derek Anderson is out this week, by the way.
Well, there you go.
Anderson's out. Sorry.
That's a huge deal.
Peterman, right? Peterson?
Can't find Peterman.
And then also with the with the Rams Packers.
Rams Packers, we both got hosed on that. I'm mad about kind of the same thing. I had an account that's online, but I had to be in state, and I had my friend Paul Kelser, who I paid money to, make these bets for me and be on my beck and call of anything that I wanted. He had to be ready for college, for pro, for whatever. And every single ticket that I bet in LA lost. Every one. So I put an additional $100 in my account just so I could make bets, and I lost everything. And they all were tied to, I even had it teased for the Rams game. Rams, it was like 56.5 was over under or whatever it was. I teased it down to 52. However it worked out, the over came in. Whatever it was, that last play with Todd Gurley, I needed him to either get a field goal or the Packers to come back and win by a field goal, or Todd Gurley to even score the touchdown. I would have won because it was teased, and I lose there. And then the next night was the same game you were talking about, which is the Minnesota Saints game. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tease the Minnesota Vikings at home getting 7 points. I'm good to go there. I teased the over-under, so I actually hit the over because I had it teased down. All I needed was Minnesota to stay within a touchdown. They lose by 10. So I'm like, you know what? At this point, do I bet the Monday night game after you know what? I'm going to bet the Monday night game. So I take the Patriots and over, and it goes Patriots and under. So not one ticket that I had Paul bet for me, the whole $100 was gone in LA. So if I just would have done what you did and bet it beforehand, I could have saved $100. So you should look at it that way. Is that we both lost, but you saved $100. I ended up losing an additional 100 on top of the money that I already bet.
Or you could have did like you did when you went to your Arizona trip.
Which was?
Call me to make the bet.
Yeah, Paul's trying to charge me $10.
What?
He wanted somebody who's going to be.
I gave him $10
at the drop of a hat.
Because I need somebody that I knew that had no life. That as soon as I texted him, that bet was put in.
Wow, I'm hurt.
Next time I'll go to you. Trust me, for free.
Hurt,
I'd rather have a free than $10. Thanks, Paul Kelso. Shout out to Paul for charging me $10.
I think he may have mushed it, in my opinion. Like you've actually won when Travis put the bet in.
Paul Kelso let it be known that going into this last week has only hit one ticket this entire year. But I'm like, okay, that's his bets. That's not my bets. But now that I'm starting to think, now that you just said that, actually, every ticket that he pushed me. Yes, the only ticket that he bet that I bet. I remember I was on fire and I won like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. And then I put in the group chat. I'm like, dude, in-game wagering right now has the line at whatever it was.
Jacksonville plus 19 against Dallas.
Yes, Jacksonville plus 19, and then Jacksonville proceeded to lose the game by like 31 points. And Paul's like, yeah, thanks for the bet. And I'm like, I didn't give you a bet. And he's like, well, you put it in the group chat and it sounded really good, so I went and bet. I'm like, so that's how I lost. And then since that point, I've been ice cold. So clearly he's a cooler that just comes in and just sweeps me off and just takes all my money. So,
man.
Paul, you're done. You're out.
I actually had a pretty good Sunday, huh?
Did you? What'd you hit?
A couple different teasers, because it was a weird weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like a lot of the totals and some of the spreads, so I teased a couple. I think I hit 2 different teasers. I think I hit like a 9-team teaser. Well, not for a ton of money, but
10 to 1, at least 10 to 1.
I think I only made like $90, but
damn, you gotta start betting more money, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to go too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You won in DFS?
FanDuel.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about the skill in FanDuel?
Yeah.
Is that what you're mad about, or are you mad about something else?
He's mad that FanDuel doesn't get the respect that it deserves.
No, I just
no.
I get there's 2 sides to the argument that some people are like, oh, it's nothing but luck, nothing but luck. That sounds like loser talk to me when it's like, hey, I can't figure it out, I can't win, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's not happening. I'm good at fantasy football, but for whatever reason, I'm not good at this. But we play in different formats, all of us, and whether you did like best ball, I bet if we went and did best ball, it'd be different. But it's not that it's just luck because you just draft random guys and you don't have to pick your lineup and it's just luck. You still need skill and you still need knowledge and you still need all this stuff to do it. Does luck play a part in it? Absolutely. just like when you're playing poker, luck plays a part in it. You could have all the percentages, all that stuff going on, but guess what?
So
you
you
have
sucked
your
out.
runs. Yeah, you get sucked out. Like stuff happens, but at the end of the night, you probably come out ahead. So I feel like it's kind of the same way with FanDuel. There's definitely a way to go about it. I remember the first time when I started playing, I was all over the place. But now I've kind of narrowed my process a little bit, and I find like I'm still either I miss bad, and that's because I went with a guy, and I'm like, okay, this is the guy that I need to kind of produce for me. The rest of my lineup is pretty decent. It should come through, and guess what? If that guy doesn't do it, you don't make it. But you take those shots.
I
sometimes.
do think that there is skill in ball. I don't want to say there's zero skill. Like there's not zero, but I think that it's not like 50-50. I think that it kind of hinges on that, like you just said, that one guy going off. And if that guy does go off that you spent no money on whatsoever, and your studs come through like studs always do, then you should end up cashing in the money. And it's like, okay, just because you put in this guy over that guy, there is skill involved for sure. I just think there's less skill involved.
But studs don't always come through, and we all know that. Like Antonio Brown will have a down game.
Yeah.
Hopkins will have a down game. You got to know when not to play those guys. Like when they have a good matchup, like I know in this last one you played Mahomes, who's a great play because he's been killing it. Gurley's been a great play. Melvin Gordon's been a great play because they're consistently giving you those points. And if you don't have those guys, you're screwed almost.
Correct.
Because you need to keep up with everybody else.
Right.
But the skill and the strategy also comes in with you have a certain amount of money, and you have to divvy that up in a very strategic manner to get the optimal lineup that you can kind of get in there, and maybe fade positions that you can kind of fade and pick up the good matchups. I think there's more skill than you would think because there's a lot of intricacies with matchups and guys who are going to be covered. Is this guy going to be shadowed by somebody? Is this guy got just a cake matchup? And sometimes you got cake matchups and they don't come through. I mean, it happens.
My whole thing was I never said that it was zero skill. I just said that compared to season long, I think that season long requires more skill than the daily one. That's all I said. I didn't say it was zero skill.
Right. I think that
I just think that the daily it involves more luck than the season long does. That was my only argument. I wasn't knocking DFS. I'm just saying that I think if you're comparing just those two things, that the season long is more skill and the daily is a little bit more on the luck side than the season long.
I disagree because I think you have more room for error in season long. Like you can mess up big time in season long, and you can still compensate and come back and make things happen
if you have skill.
Right. If you have skill, then you can make that back up.
Because
if you don't have skill and don't know what you're doing, you're done.
Anybody can go out and
both of them. If you don't have skill and don't know what you're doing, you're done.
Yeah, but anybody can go out there. Anybody that's never even played fantasy football before can go out there and draft what would be a decent starting lineup. But then as soon as the bye weeks start to hit, and as soon as you get hit with a couple injuries, their bench is crap. Like there's guys that are rostered.
Explain to me a guy that's in our league who's consistently ridiculed for the way that he drafts and the way that he does things, and the way that he plays, won back-to-back championships.
It was in 2007.
It doesn't matter when it was. What does that matter? Has it changed? Like it's completely changed. And it's
he hasn't won since then.
I know. The point is that was luck.
The only luck he had.
You guys are describing
the only luck he had that season was he had 0 injuries. To me, the lucky part is drafting a lineup that you don't have to touch, basically. In a season long, the only thing that can bail you out if you don't have any skill whatsoever is if you pick a team that just happens to every guy that you picked stays healthy. So you don't have to worry about the injuries. All you have to do is worry about, okay, this guy's on a bye. Okay, I'll put this guy in. Okay, this guy's on a bye. Now he's back. Okay, now I don't touch him ever again. So those type of things happen where you happen to have a really lucky year where not one guy gets injured. And for 2 years in a row, he had that. He had Adrian Peterson and whoever else it was, and those guys just carried him the entire way. No injuries. He didn't have to do any waiver wire pickups. He didn't have to do any trades. Like, he didn't have to do anything. He just set his lineup and just forget it. And he had a really good year because nothing happened to him. There was no bumps in the road.
The same guy you're talking about getting lucky in the 2007 and 2008, that same guy is every week I see him finishing in the top 5 in daily.
Right.
Like, he hasn't finished in the money every week, but he's finishing in the top 5 every week.
Yeah.
Because all he does is draft names and puts them in. It works. For both, I guess.
Do you think he's at home, like, studying the whole FanDuel algorithm?
No.
Nope.
He's just throwing guys that he's heard of that he knows are good.
Correct.
How often has he won?
Yeah, he has, but he's finishing the top 5 out of 15 to 20 players every
not
week.
in the money.
Right, but
you
that's what I'm
should
saying.
be able to pick good players that consistently produce. You need to do that. But what's going to separate you and get you out of that pack is that little extra edge of the skill and the knowledge and the extra time you kind of put in. Is a squirrel going to find a nut every once in a while? Of course it is.
Yeah, so Squirrel just found one last week with you. Didn't you finish third?
I finished in third.
You squeaked that guy right out of
I
third.
squeaked him out of third place.
Well, there you go. So
That
you guys
guy.
top 4 again. Maybe we should open this up to Facebook Live and talk DFS.
It's a big
Because there's a lot of people that watch Facebook Live that play.
It's both sides, because I hopped on Reddit to check out some of the forums and whatever, and it's one of those topics that's very both sides.
They said 13% of people consistently cash that play DFS. 13%.
And it's like you look at sports betting. To be consistent, to be good, to be a winner, to be a professional, you barely have to be over 50%, really.
Right.
So
Correct. That's hard.
Exactly, it's hard. It's not easy. But to consistently win and do it this, which there are people that do, they're not just getting lucky all the time. I mean, there's big money players that play.
There is skill to it. There is like digging. I'm just saying that I think it's less skill than season long.
Just say it. He wants to say like, okay, there's somebody that works at our work that has no relevance to NFL or fantasy or anything that has to do with that, and essentially that every single week they're finishing up in the top 5, and we all know that person has no idea what they're doing. The manager.
Well, you don't.
It's
but
like
you don't know who is helping people or
fill out their lineup.
Who is there talking? What you don't know. I mean, who
true.
knows who's
Okay,
filling
true.
out lineups and doing whatever? You don't know that. But if it's something that's consistent, you don't get lucky consistently. That's not how luck works.
Paul Kelser
does.
would disagree with
Yeah.
that.
But he didn't get lucky this weekend. He didn't get lucky with all his bets he was making with this guy.
Maybe not that.
Not week to week, but at the end of the season, somehow he's right there with no injuries and full strength and ready to go. And somehow he gets the team he's playing has 5 injuries or whatever. Like, yeah, it always seems to work out.
He's gonna beat me in Big Boy this week. So there you go.
Oh God, here we go.
Okay,
It's the
week
reverse-
hasn't even
it's the
started
jinx.
yet.
It's the jinx.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to crack one?
Reverse
Let's crack it.
Damn jinx.